Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAHSHI, Ba'ashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders that I learned this truth from, the men at GMS and the brethren with the like-minded doctrine. Just a brother of Bakalah Walam here with another hopeful, edifying video to the body, to the elect body of Yahawah Ba'ashim, YAHAWAHSHI. I'm not sure what I'm entitled the video, but I got a quote here from George Santayana, and it reads, "Those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it." So I'm going to say that again. Those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it. So this is one of the tactics of Esau Edom, that, the secret counsels of the wicked. Esau Edom, he comes up with these ideas, which second Corinthians, the second chapter and 11th verse says, we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. In Second Corinthians, the second chapter and the 11th verse. So that word device go into schemes and plots. So Esau Edom, in his secret counsels of the wicked, he come up with these devices, these secret plans and plots against you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, man. He come up with these plots to basically keep you in the dark and keep you in darkness and keep you asleep. He's not trying to wake you. He's trying to. That's him being the devil, being a deceiver, which the devil means deceiver. So, like, these tactics that they used before are being played out again. It's just the people, especially so-called blacks, natives, and Latinos. You don't know a lot of history, man. You don't know a lot of history, and the scripture also says in Hosea, the 4th chapter, in the 6th verse, it says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge." Because just like this quote from this guy George Santayana, those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it. So these events that Esau Edom has done in the past are even though it's been covered, it's been in secret, but these facts are being revealed, and this information is out. So because basically this lifestyle, this gangster rap, it was created to destroy our people. That's why you have a lot of this so-called black on black crime, because it's one of the devices of Esau Edom. Which I'm not gonna read a lot of this article. I'm just get a paragraph or two, but I'm gonna read the video. I'm at the title of it. It's from Renegade Tribune. I might leave the link of this article in the description box, but it says gangster rap, CIA and Mossad. So the CIA is a central intelligence agency for the U.S. We're gonna get what Mossad is. So Mossad, it says Mossad is the national intelligence agencies of Israel. So the Israelis. So these are their government, the U.S. and Israeli intelligence agencies came up with this plot against you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos. So this is a good read, but I'm gonna just skip down to the portion that I want to read, because it says the first to popularize gangster rap was group NWA, which came into the scene in 1968. Their music was perfectly suited to stigmatize and demonize black youth of the inner city as virtual savages. Gangster rap has it all: inhumane, unmitigated hatred and violence, criminality, inherent evil and wickedness, demonic possession, spiritual warfare, and threats against public order and peace. So that's what it's telling you. That's what they use this gangster rap. This is a device, a scheme that was conjured up by Esau Edom through his through the secret councils of the wicked. To do what? To basically is on one account too also that is basically the to increase the incarceration population between the so-called blacks and Latinos and Native Americans, basically put you incarcerated, put you back into slavery. Because whenever you commit a crime, you become a slave. They put it's lawful to enslave someone when they commit a crime in this state. So they trying to they promote this gangster rap, living this illegal lifestyle of murder, drugs, murder, drugs, and murder, drugs, and gangs, and whatever else wickedness that they put on our people. So I want to go to this drawing here, or this diagram here. I got it because it's not gonna get to the size that I want, but I got it here. That's the same. This is the same diagram here, right? Basically, it says the title says how Ronald Reagan created gangster rap. So you see here, there's an illustration of this guy. It says it begins with two seemingly unrelated news stories in August in San Jose. Mercury News published devastating relationships of how the CIA allowed the Nicaraguans and Contra to fund their war against the Sandinista government by selling millions of dollars worth of Colombian cocaine to Los Angeles main gangs, the Bloods and the Crips. Incredibly, as the report's headline, the CIA protected the Contra drug dealers from the investigations of the law enforcement organizations. In turn, the gangs made a fortune peddling the drugs on the streets. Then, last week, the New York Post reported that the FBI was investigating Marion Suge Knight, head of Death Row Records, for alleged ties to those same LA gangs. Now, after hours of further research by it, cracked reporting staff. Reporting staff, The Voice can reveal the true story of how Ronald Reagan, through the clandestine forces, I'm saying that correctly, of the CIA, created gangster rap. So basically, they telling you how the secret council of the wicked, man, they created this lifestyle, this black culture, rap culture, and all the different genres that fall in between gangster rap or hip hop. All these different genres, from drill rap, um, um, trap music, or whatever the other different genres of hip hop is. They all speak the same thing: drug dealing, thoughts and whores, and gang banging. Man, that's all it is, man. So it got an illustration right here. It says Ronald Reagan. said December the 1st, 1981, President Ronald Reagan green lights covert CIA military action against the Nicaraguans. Send the state Sandinista government, if I'm pronouncing that right. Salaki. So I'm not going to read all because some of this stuff you can't make out every word. But basically, it's going to show you in directions of what's going on. See, they got arrows pointing here, arrows pointing there. So I'm gonna just go to particular pictures. So we got Ronald Reagan here, then you got this guy here, Oliver North, in charge of running the Contra support operation. And you see there it says what? The CIA, International Protectors of Democracy. So it basically all the links together, all these different diagrams. And I want to go here. It says what? From leading this Mena, Arkansas, Oliver North to the CIA. And then down here it says Mena, Arkansas, the airstrip in South Arkansas from which North drugs for guns contra mission allegedly operated. So that's where this guy Oliver North, which he's one of the operations of the CIA. He worked for the CIA. This is how they was basically flying drugs in through this main airstrip in Mena, Arkansas, which is connected to this guy here. Right here it says Bill Clinton. All this gonna tie in, Salakia. All it's gonna tie in later. It should be. It's gonna make sense later. It says here. See it. It says Bill Clinton, governor of Arkansas at the time, alleged to have known about CIA activities in Mena. So this guy was the governor at the time where this was going on. They was flying drugs. They was flying drugs to this airstrip. And look what we have here. It says go to this arrow. This guy here says Roger Clinton, brother of Bill, busted for cocaine possession. See, all this is if you look at it, all this is going on now. If you look at this guy Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, right? What is his son? What is his son? He's got some scandal going. He's an addict. He's a drug addict. He's a crack addict. Look, that's all the same thing. It's like they doing the same thing. You see, it's the same picture. Bill Clinton, he got a relative that was busted for cocaine. And I'm gonna get to the drug and the so-called blacks, Latinos. So I'm gonna go back here. So, see, all this ties up. Northwind menaces, if I'm saying this correctly, which all this is tying up. You see, it goes into the FDN with only 19.9 million coming from the U.S. government. The Contra needed a quick way to make millions of dollars. They tried their hand at drug trafficking. So I'm gonna play a video also, but I want to see how you gonna tie all this together. See, got here Colombian connection. The Colombian cartel established. The Colombian cartel established strange hold on U.S. cocaine market with the help of the CIA. Let's see what they got here. It said Danilo Blando, Nicaraguan expat, Southern California Contra organizer, and major drug dealer. Instead of supplying the rich Hollywood drug scene, Blandon target LA's poor black population. So this guy was targeting the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And he linked up with this guy here, um, Rick Ross. Said it was Blando's help and supply line. Small-time dealer Ross introduced South Central to a new cheap form of cocaine, crack. So this guy right here, he which at the time he didn't know anything about it and what he was doing. He's gonna go into the video. I'm gonna show the video also, but this is also the demonstration. So the Bloods and the Crips here, which he basically supplied the Bloods and the Crips, and they started selling drugs. So it said B and C on the hat. These represent the two gangs. Right here it said Bloods and Crips. Ross uses LA two largest gangs, the Crips and the Bloods, to build up his clientele. Within a year, he has made millions for himself and millions more for the Contra. So all this ties in, and then he got up here. This dude on Suge Knight, marrying Suge Knight, which is the head of the death row. Which it goes into, you can read it here. Marion Suge Knight, head of Death Row Records, currently being investigated by FBI for ties of the Bloods. New York City Post reports Knight wears a ring with the initial MOB, member of Bloods, on it. So, and what this ties to Death Row Records, which got all these rappers right here, Snoop Dogg, and all the NWA, Interscope, Death Records, which is owned by what it says the small hatters, the 1948ers. So you got Dre, Dr. Dre, all this ties together, man. NWA, and right here what Eazy-E, when he was alive, and what happened? There's a picture of him, Eazy-E meeting George Bush, George Bush Senior. So I'm gonna read it here. It says recipient of Eazy-E's affection is said to have attended secret meetings with the Iranian arms dealer in Paris in 1980 to prevent an October surprise. The release of 52 U.S. hostage held by Iran before the 1980s elections. Alleged beneficiary of the delay, candidate on Ronald Reagan. West Coast rapper Paris pins Bush killer. And then you got a meeting right here. It says Eazy-E, the diminutive NWA lead rapper, contributes $2,490 to the Republican National Committee in 1991, former crack dealer. So this guy was a former, Eazy-E's a former drug dealer, crack dealer, and it says here he had a dinner. I think it says it over here. That basically we had a dinner together or something like that. They met with the president. They had a dinner together. I'm trying to find that. Yeah, this is it, Salaki. You can barely read it, but it says following his I don't know what it says, the following his contribution to the Republicans, Eazy is invited to dinner at the White House by none other than Bob Dole. I think that's what it says. So he was invited to the White House. So I got another picture. So this is nothing new, man. It's not like the scripture says, nothing new under the sun. Also, Ecclesiasticus, the first chapter, there's nothing new under the sun. Lucky if it's taking too long. But I'm gonna show. I got another picture here I want to show because there's just like the scripture said, there's nothing new under the sun. I got a picture here. Look at this. This picture here. This guy, Lil Wayne. This guy Lil Wayne met with Donald Trump. So basically, there's nothing new under the sun. They just doing the same things, man. Different characters, man. There's nothing new under the sun. So they use this dude here. You know, he tried to, you know, at one point they was looking to Lil Wayne to keep the rap game going. You know. So this guy right here is nothing new. He met with Donald Trump before. You know, same difference. So I got this so there's nothing new on the sun, just like he got here. This guy Eazy-E had met with George W.H. Bush Sr. They had a dinner together too. So there's nothing new on the sun. You know. And I got this video I want to play. Basically, telling you how this thing went down, because people don't believe it, man. They don't want to believe the truth. They want to believe the lies that this government, like the scripture says, I'm gonna get that out of Proverbs before I get here. Before I get this video on Proverbs 14 and 15, because people, they don't believe the truth. They don't want to. They believe whatever this government tell them. Proverbs 14 and 15. They believe whatever the government just speaks, they believe it. It says Proverbs 14 and 15. It says the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his goings. Which is the point. The simple believe every word. They believe every word these Edomites say on the TV instead of doing your own research, and you can see things for yourself that it doesn't add up. So a lot what this government says, it doesn't add up, and it's a whole bunch of it's just a whole bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of deceits. He just, like the scripture says, his mouth is full of lies and deceit. So I got this video here, which I'm gonna play. Almost guaranteed. Some days we would. I got this video here. I'm gonna play just a little bit of this guy, Freeway Ricky Ross. He's gonna give an account of what he was doing during this time.
At the same time, all of the cocaine from Nicaragua was flowing into the U.S. Freeway Ricky Ross was at his heyday.
The average week would at least be $2 to $3 million, almost guaranteed. Some days we would have $2 and $3 million days.
After Freeway Rick was arrested, an investigative journalist by the name of Gary Webb uncovered a link that connected him back to the Nicaraguan Contra movement.
I read Dark Alliance. I got a copy personally from Gary Webb himself. And to read the book, it was fascinating for me, you know, to find out that I was connected with the CIA and all these high-powered people up in the government.
Ricky Ross was just lucky. He just happened to get a source who was connected to the CIA.
For a long time in South Central, the buzzword was that the CIA was selling crack. I said, no, the CIA wasn't selling crack. The CIA was importing cocaine. Ricky Ross got it, turned it into crack, and he sold it.
According to Gary Webb's Dark Alliance, when Danilo Blandón was displaced from his home country of Nicaragua, he set off to America to raise money to aid the Contras in ridding his home from the invading Sandinistas. When Ricky Ross was introduced to Blandón, Blandón was in a position to create a pipeline of cocaine that he in turn gave to Ricky Ross on consignment.
Which I like the sound of that, you know, because I was always trying to get to the top anyway.
Suddenly, some major sources opened up for him. Danilo Blandón, Norwin Meneses, both of whom them were tied to the CIA and the Contras, and Gary Webb did a masterful job of breaking those stories and proving with documents that that was the case.
Whatever we were running in LA, it was the drug. It was going to the Contra Revolution. I started doing a little research on my own, and I read a little bit about Oliver North and the Contras, because I never knew what the Contras was before.
There's ledgers of Oliver North and them actually transporting the cocaine to our country. There's film. Every piece of documented possible.
Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. First-time dealer and former Crip Leroy Chico Brown was arrested with Rick. Chico walked into a DEA sting operation that was set up to capture and imprison Rick and trade for Rick's old partner, Danilo Blandone.
How could this be possible? And we read into the documents, and then that's when Gary Webb started explaining it to us, and he was like, everything came together there.
One of the most paramount moments, perhaps caused by Gary Webb's Dark Alliance, took place in November of 1996.
It was a monumental historic event. I mean, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency was coming to Watts to face the people. Now, we all know that the U.S. government and the CIA supported the Contras in their efforts to overthrow the Sandinista government in Nicaragua in the middle 80s. Now, it is alleged the CIA also helped the Contras raise money for arms by introducing crack cocaine into California. Deutsch felt he had to do something to try to deal with the outrage that was foaming all over the country at the time. And of course, it just blew up in his face. CIA fights drugs. CIA does not encourage drugs. I mean, it was actually one of the most monumental blunders of all time, if you think about it. We have no evidence of a conspiracy by the CIA to engage in encouraging drug traffickers in Nicaragua or elsewhere in Latin America. Deutsch was there because of the Gary Webb stories. The Gary Webb stories had sparked a national furor.
I would like to have Richard Ross's brother to speak, please.
The United States government turned their head and let this cocaine come into the United States of America.
Allow Gary Webb to have full access. This whole thing is orchestrated.
It was near pandemonium. It was about, I guess, 1,200 people in the standing room only in the auditorium, 2,000 people outside listening on loudspeakers. And it was very hard to keep control. I got called on finally, and I said to her very clearly, I was looking right at Deutsch. I am a former Los Angeles police narcotics detective, and I work South Central Los Angeles, and I will tell you, Director Deutsch, that the agency has dealt drugs throughout this country for a long time. I was able to name operations. Director Deutsch, I will refer you to 3 specific agency operations known as Amadeus, Pegasus, and Watchtower. I have Watchtower documents heavily redacted by the agency. I was personally exposed to CIA operations and recruited by CIA personnel who attempted to recruit me in the late 70s to become involved in protecting agency drug operations in this country. He stumbled and stammered.
So yeah, there it is. They try to recruit this cop here, the CIA, the traffic, the dealing drugs, man. Like there you have it. Like, but people try to ignore the facts, and they want to say that it ain't what they saying. It's a conspiracy theory. You know, it's not real. It's fake. You know, your government wouldn't do such a thing. But you see the truth there, man. And I'm saying all that to say this, that there's nothing new under the sun, man. Because also this guy, I think I need to go back. This guy, Salakia. This guy, this guy, Joe Biden. He also tried to do what? He tried to bring some type of $1
million grant.
He tried to do a grant. He trying to bring a grant to fund crack pipe kits for crack addicts. So basically, they trying to stimulate. They trying to bring this era back, you know, by methods of being lenient towards the law, lenient towards by simple drug possession, because they had a lot of discussion about trying to legalize like drugs such as marijuana and public personal use of certain drugs. They tried to legalize the use of it, and that's also this guy here, which I'm gonna play a little bit of it. He's built on it's like Joe Biden. He tried to pass this bill for drug kits. So I'm gonna play a little bit.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Stephanie. Well, the Biden administration creating a multi-million-dollar grant program geared towards reducing drug harm and hopefully saving lives. Our KSAT Trust Index team received a question from a viewer asking if the money is going towards crack pipes.
Alicia Barrera helped verify that the information is true, and she talked to one local nonprofit that says while they have not received any of that grant money, they say these kinds of programs actually save lives.
So yeah, you see there, they said it was at one point they were trying to get grant money, taxpayer money to grant this funding of crack pipes. So that's, and also I got a little another video I want to show.
Godiva is always a crowd pleaser.
Salakia, give me a Salakia. All right, yeah, this is the video. Basically trying to legalize personal use of drugs.
Mary, all indications are that anyone charged with having drugs will have their case dismissed, and anyone serving time for drug possession will have their conviction erased. Dealing drugs remains a crime, but under a new ruling by the state Supreme Court, people who have them for personal use will no longer be a focus for police or prosecutors.
Cops are not going to be able to arrest people on probable cause for simple possession anymore.
Based on a case out of Spokane, prosecutors...
So see, this is a bill that they was trying to pass. I'm not going to get all deep in it. They didn't pass it, but still, nonetheless, this is in Seattle, Washington. Which, you know, if it's in one state, they're going to try to do it in all states or something of the sort. So I don't think this bill did not pass, but still, you see the effects. They try to basically bring this lifestyle back by being lenient, and also there's talk out there that they try to the U.S. is trying to legalize marijuana, which, you know, everybody say marijuana is the gate drug to all other types of drugs. Which you know, that is all of this is trying to bring back a lifestyle, because like that's why in America you got these epidemics or crises like the opioid crisis, the fentanyl crisis. All of these are contributed by Esau Edom, man, because he's behind the whole scheme of things. He's like, just like in because of the U.S., just like in Nicaragua, the cocaine, they was occupied by the CIA. The CIA was leading the Contra, what we just saw on Contra, and them bringing drugs in the in LA, and all that being distributed to the poor blacks of LA. You know, starting with the guy Rick Ross, Freeway Rick Ross, and him giving drugs to the gang Bloods and Crips. You know, and then they you know. It basically was a war tactic against the so-called blacks, man, Latinos and Native Americans. You know, so this just like in the CIA occupied Nicaragua in the cocaine and drug dealing, and gun selling. They did the same thing in Afghanistan when the U.S. military occupied Afghanistan. The distribution of opioids increased 90%. Under the occupation of the military, under the U.S. military in Afghanistan. So they and there's plenty of videos on that they cover that the U.S. government has their dealing in that. And also they was the guy on Freeway Rick Ross said there's a such thing called kindergarten to prison pipeline. So all this was basically to destroy the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. But they try to keep it a secret. And just like it says in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 12:10, never trust thine enemy, because you know the Esau Edom is our enemy, man. Pursuing the Psalms, the 83rd chapter, we got enemies: Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We have enemies, and our arch nemesis is Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, man. You know, because he just holds these secret councils to come against the 12 tribes, man. You know, so that's just evidence that there's nothing new under the sun. I want to make sure I'm not leaving nothing out, because you know everything. Like you see this guy here, Lil Wayne, meeting with the president. That's nothing new. What's that dude? Easy E. He met with George W. Bush. Bill Clinton and his what he says his brother had cocaine possession. You see the same thing going with Joe Biden, and his son is a crack addict. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. It's like, yeah, there's nothing new under the sun. And just like it says in Sirach, the 12th chapter, in the 10th verse, never trust thy enemy. You know, for we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. 2 Corinthians 2:11. And also in Ecclesiasticus, the 5th chapter, in the 15th verse, it says, be not ignorant of anything. So you should be aware of what's going on. You know, Ecclesiasticus, the 5th chapter, in the 15th verse, it says, be not ignorant of anything. So this information and facts is out. It just, you know, people fail to try to do their own research. They're in their own emotions about what the facts are. So I'm gonna just close it off all that. And I hope it was edifying to the elect. Salaki, if it was too long, I won't say call her like I'm like YAHAWAH YAHAWAHSHI Rakakadash. Shalom to the next time. Yahawah Ratazah, which means Lord willing. And Abba, Babal, DTA soon.